Good evening and welcome to grammar video for punctuation and usage rules. So you should be watching this video if you are going to be a sophomore and if you already watched videos 1, 2, and 3. So again, just as I did with all my videos, I'll have a little disclaimer. So this is not supposed to be these videos, they're not supposed to be a comprehensive teaching of all these concepts. Nor are they supposed to be thorough. Instead, they're supposed to just provide a quick review of concepts you've already learned freshman year. If for whatever reason you're a transfer student or you have completely forgotten everything we've done in grammar freshman year and you need extra help or a more thorough explanation, please feel free to email me. Okay, so let's begin. So grammar for punctuation and usage rules. All right, number 1, here's a big one. So this is just a random miscellaneous rules. Titles of books and plays, they need to be underlined. So titles of books and plays are underlined, okay? They're not put in quotations. They are underlined. They're either underlined or italicized. Not both, just underlined or italicized. All right? So not quotations. All right, I thought it'd be worth repeating that rule because a lot of you guys got that wrong on your final. So again, titles of books and plays are underlined or italicized, not put in quotations. Okay, however, if you have a title of a poem or a short story or a song, that's when you put it in quotations. So titles of a short story or a poem, that is when you use quotations. All right, so long works italicized or underlined, short works put in quotations. All right, let's go ahead and go through all the usage rules we've gone through this year. So the first set of usage rules I want to go through is subject-verb agreement. Okay, so subject-verb agreement. So it's pretty big. It's basically pretty simple. If you have a singular subject, you want a singular verb. If you want a plural subject, you want a plural verb. So singular subject, you need a singular verb. Okay, example. Okay, so this is where you guys all tripped up. So examples of singular verbs are the following. Examples of singular verbs include walks, talks, hops, is, was, and so has, and so forth. Okay? If you have a plural subject, you need a plural verb. Okay, so example of plural verbs include walk. So notice with a plural verb, it doesn't have an S at the end. So walk, talk, hop, are, were, have, and so forth. Okay? That's basically all there is to subject-verb agreement. Okay, so here's something tricky. The following qualify as singular. So singular would include stuff like, so singular subjects that might be tricky is no one, nobody. All right. If it's one is singular. All right. So these were some subjects that are singular that people got tripped up on. Everyone is singular. Everybody is singular. So if you see any of this, if it's a singular indefinite pronoun, such as no one, nobody, everyone, everybody, if it's one of these words, you have a singular subject. So if you have one of these words, you're going to need a singular verb. All right. I wanted to just to give you this list because this was missed by a lot of people on the final. All right, let's talk about choosing the correct pronoun. So let's talk about pronoun usage. So with pronoun usage, the same rules apply as subject-verb agreement. So same rules as above. Okay? There is one other rule for pronoun usage that I do want to go over, and it's this. If you have a linking verb, you should be able to switch your subject and pronoun. So if you have a linking verb, you should be able to switch your subject and pronoun. All right, so for example, the teacher is she. So notice I have is my linking verb. And notice that, so the teacher is she. Notice that if I switched my subject and pronoun, if I said she is the teacher, my sentence would still make sense. So when you have a linking verb, that's how you know if you have the correct pronoun or not, is if you can switch your subject with your pronoun. So that's one good way to tell when you have a linking verb whether you've chosen the correct pronoun. Okay, so that's a brief overview, subject-verb agreement and pronoun agreement. Okay, just a couple. So now we're going to go over comma rules. So this is a review of comma rules. Okay, and this will be the last thing in grammar we go over. So comma rules. So, sorry, this is getting a little blurry. Hopefully you can still read it. Okay, so with comma rule number 1. So again, this should be very familiar to you. This is not meant to be like a thorough explanation. However, if you are confused, please feel free to email me and I can email you more thorough resources. But this is meant to review what we did second semester of freshman year. So number 1, you need a comma around non-essential appositive phrases. So you need a comma around non-essential appositive phrases. Okay, so if you have an appositive, remember it's a phrase that describes like the noun before it. So if it's non-essential, you need a comma around it, and you'll have examples of that in your problem set. Number 2, you need a comma after an introductory word or phrase. So you need a comma after an introductory word or phrase. So if you're beginning a sentence with an intro word like however or yet, or if you're beginning a sentence with an introductory phrase, you would need a comma afterwards. Okay, next thing. You need a comma when you have a dependent clause followed by an independent clause. So you need a comma when you have a dependent clause followed by an independent clause. All right, so we have so in a complex sentence, if your dependent clause comes first, you need a comma. Okay, now this is very important. You don't need a comma if your independent clause comes first. So you don't need a comma if the independent clause comes first. All right. Okay. Number 5, you need a comma when you're joining. So for compound sentences, you need a comma if you're joining two independent clauses with a conjunction. So for compound sentences, you need a comma if joining two independent clauses with a conjunction or with a coordinating conjunction. So remember, coordinating conjunction refers to and, but, yet, conjunctions like that. So look at your list if you need a review. All right, so those are the basic grammar rules we have gone over. All right, and that should be reviewed to you. So you have practice problems that will test your ability to apply the grammar rules and to apply usage rules. And you also have problems over subject-verb agreement and choosing the correct pronoun. Okay, so if you're doing these problems and you're unsure of something or you want to check your answers, please feel free to email me. All right, God bless you, and I hope you have a blessed summer.